Good morning. I am out and about on the property this morning doing a little morning walk. Kind of clear the head and turned into a scouting walk. Just hiking around, looking for more deer sign, and found a really cool spot over here. And this is I'm right on the edge of our property, so like I am on the line, the very farthest part of our property. So you walk good like 500 yards that way. We'll get back to the house. But I found a really cool spot that I haven't lay eyes on or even put my feet on the ground yet until just now. And what isn't my property right here is an awesome thicket of raspberries and white pines, some blue spruce, and there are so many beds. I mean, you can see, I don't know if you guys probably won't be able to see, but I was looking at all these trails that are going in here, and they're heavily trafficked, and there's fresh droppings. And then I started looking up as I'm coming out of here, and all it is a bunch of white oaks lining this entire property line. So as I'm like observing this bedding area, I started noticing that there's droppings everywhere, and I look down and there are hundreds of these. I mean, one there, one there, one there, one there. I mean, they are everywhere. So these trees are producing a lot of acorns. With all these acorns, this is a perfect transitioning spot from bedding into feeding. And what I've noticed during the daytime and into the evening, all these deer are coming off of our property, coming back this way. About 8 out of 10 times. Not every single time, but 8 out of 10 times of all the deer that I've seen so far since we've been here, they're always walking in this direction. So that leads me to believe the bedding area that I think that is up by my tree stand may not be a primary bedding area. It might just be something that after they feed, they're going laying down for like a midday nap. When I was out here last weekend, came out at like 2 in the morning, and I was shining a light through the woods just to kind of see what I can see. And sure enough, bumped a deer right on this hillside coming right back up into here. So, think we found their primary bedding area. Now that can change, obviously, but this is prime habitat for these deer. I can, as I'm walking through here, I'm gonna start heading back into my property, but right here, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's just this cut that they're heavily walking. There's another one right down here as well, right along this little tree line here, and it goes down, and they walk this, and even up here, the one I'm standing on, you can see that they're obviously using this, and based on my actual physical observation, they are using this. So, right there we go. Fresh, somewhat fresh droppings with an acorn in it. More right here. It is all over the place. So what I need to do, since this is my property line and I don't own into the bedding area, I need to get a hold of the property owner, which I know where she lives, pulled it up on Hunt Stand, know her name and everything, and I'm gonna have to devise a plan on doing some door knocking, just to see if we can get, I don't need access to her whole property. She's got, I think, 50 something acres. It would be awesome if I could get access to the entirety, but I just want access into this back thicket. I want to be able to if I do shoot something and it runs back towards bedding, I want to be able to go in there and get it. Also, if I could, there's so many good trees up here. I'm just sitting here. I mean, they're pin straight. Be able to put a stand up in one of those. Or even, I think there's some cedars down this way along the one corner of it. I mean, I would love to post up in some cedars. Nice cover. It's just the problem with that bedding area. It's so thick. It is so thick. So definitely need to get an elevated position over it if I am gonna hunt it. And I mean, worst comes to worst, if I can't get in there, if she says no, I still have my property. I still butt right up to it. And like I said before, I've noticed these deer are walking in and out. So access to the deer isn't completely gone. It's still there. So I might have to get smart about it, but I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna get back to this walk through the woods. I'm just finding all sorts of cool stuff. Got a pocket full of turkey feathers for the wife. Don't know what she's gonna do with them. Just figured it'd be something cool other than a little bouquet of flowers that people normally get for their wives. Also, these squirrels are going nuts. Like, I'm gonna walk this deer trail. And check this out. This is something, man. Now, if I can post up on this hilltop, or even right on this hill, right up in here somewhere, oh, man. I mean, this looks like it's their junction. You know, boom, trail there. Boom, trail there. Trail that leads down into the creek and probably up the hill. Trail I'm on, boom. And I mean, if you look, it gets thick in there. I only wore tennis shoes, so I'm not really equipped to be walking through the thickest of the thick. So we're gonna follow the deer poop and go back towards the center of our property. Keep an eye out for ginseng and whatnot. Haven't really had a good chance yet to forage. One thing I absolutely love doing, my wife and I both love doing it together, is looking for wild mushrooms, just wild edibles in general. And reading some articles and whatnot about the area, and I mean, just West Virginia in general. It's a nice hot spot for ginseng. So how cool would that be? I mean, $1,000 a pound for ginseng. Not that I'd ever get that lucky, but you never know. Because I'm probably walking through it right now. Who knows? I need to better train myself to identify it. Wow. Now I gotta get back up this. And it's thick. Probably gonna run into a bedded bear or something. I don't have my pistol or anything, so hopefully she doesn't have cubs. Oh, this is so much fun in tennis shoes and shorts. So great. Anyway, what I've come to really appreciate and really love about this area in West Virginia is the amount of birds, the amount of songbirds. I mean, dude, walking through the woods or even waking up in the morning, it's such a difference. It's night and day from when we live in the city in Ohio, in an urban community, but I'm sure, I know there's birds in Ohio as well. You guys are probably like, oh, it's not much different. I know. But the difference from coming from an urban setting out to a very, 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 very rural setting. I mean, we are in the middle of nowhere. found some old rubs from like last year and whatnot, but nothing really new yet. I think it's still kind of early down here for them to be shedding their velvet. I found one up the way when I first started my walk this morning. Something was rubbing on it. Little guy, who knows? Wasn't like a crazy amount. It was probably just getting an itch. I'd imagine within the next 2 weeks or so, they're gonna start really stripping that velvet. And I know Ohio, they're starting to already. Pennsylvania, I've seen people post some actual just bare bone bucks. Guy here came up on another game trail. It's coming from right here, right down, and there's some old last year rubs right there. So have to keep an eye on those. A lot of times those trees become favorites. And I know a lot of you guys are watching this, probably know all that. Probably thinking, why are you telling us the obvious? But I want to teach people, I want people, so a lot of people don't know what that is. There's, how many people in a year that I come across and I'm informing them on hunting and, telling them about going and looking for antlers, and they're like, deer lose their antlers? People asking me, oh, how do you go and hunt for deer? How do you find them? I'll tell them, well, if you're hunting for a buck, you look for rubs, you look for scrapes, look for tracks. And they're like, rubs, scrapes, every single time. They're like, oh, what's a rub? And you tell them. I'm like, oh, what's a scrape? Isn't that the same thing as a rub? And I tell them that, deer shed their velvet in the end of summer, rubbing on trees. And I just remember years ago hiking with some friends and walking through the woods. I was like, oh, there's a rub. Like, what are you talking about? So yeah, it's a deer rub. That's what they do. They rub their antlers on it. What? So I know a lot of you already know all that. Obviously, we're all hunters and outdoorsmen, and it's, safe to assume that majority of you are well informed of how to hunt, what to look for. But for those people out there who are just getting into it, who may not have had the upbringing like me. I grew up, my grandpa hunted, my dad hunted occasionally, but it wasn't like a whole family thing, so I wasn't immersed in it like I am now. I had to make that for myself. And for those people who grew up like that, I want to help give that to them, help give them that knowledge. And if anyone ever has any questions, I'm not saying that I'm the deer hunting guru, that I know every single thing you could ever possibly think about deer hunting 101. But if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'd be more than happy to help you figure something out. I really would. And you know what? We could learn together. If I don't know, we'll go down that rabbit hole and we'll figure it out together. Like I said, I know a lot of you already know this. And I hope I'm not ever come off as redundant or, I don't know, giving you guys pointless information. If anything, the way I look at it, is it's just refreshing you, right? Refreshing your knowledge so you don't forget. But I want to try to cover all of the ranges of hunters, people who don't hunt yet, people who just started hunting, people who have been hunting for a handful of years, and then you got the people who have been hunting for 20 years or more, their entire life. So if you guys ever have any suggestions on what kind of content you want to see, come together. Put it in the comment section, message me on Instagram, let me know, because like I said, I want to be here to help inform you guys, to learn with you guys, and to just experience nature with all of you. I know you guys are behind a screen, but I want to do this with you guys. I love doing this. I really do. This is, I mean, without the phone, without the cameras, without, you know, I'd still be doing this. I did it way before this. Having this platform, though, to be able to come out and talk to anyone and everyone, or think that I'm talking to everyone and anyone, like, to have this outlet to be able to share is such a cool idea. I mean, and the fact that it's our reality, like, it's amazing. I hate technology. I really do. Like, I shouldn't say I hate technology. I hate where technology is taking everybody, where it's taking our youth, the young minds. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some brilliant kids out there that utilize technology, but they're utilizing it in the proper way. But then you've got the ones that are just mindless. I'm not trying to be mean, but just mindlessly scrolling. And that's all their life is this TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Not bashing on Instagram or any of those. Actually, I'll bash on TikTok. I can't stand TikTok, and I'm sorry if you love TikTok, but here I go. I'm going down another rabbit hole. But I think TikTok has really, really amplified or accelerated the process of the mind numbing. I shouldn't even say mind numbing, because it's not even numbing your mind. It's all the overstimulation. No, it's just amazing how much technology has really come this far, and how I've managed to utilize it just as like so many of you guys. I'm not all fancy schmancy with all these cool gadgets and gear when it comes to doing all this. I mean, I mostly do all this on my phone. It's easier for me. I have a camera, but to be able to walk around with you guys like this, comfortably hold you, I can stop, I can check something real quick. I mean, this is cool. This is nice. There goes some deer. Dang. Big old whitetails. Obviously they're whitetail deer. Big old whitetail. Oh yeah, a bunch of them. Holy moly. That shut me up real quick. Start walking that way. They're right up in here. They're a little ways out, but we'll work our way towards them. See, that's what happens. I'm walking through the woods and I'm talking. And that's another thing. I got the nice thing about the phone is I was able to turn this around in an instant. I think there's about 3 or 4 of them. I saw one running up here, and then 2 more came running from down here. So they came up out of this bottom. I got my water hole that's right down in here. So I think they were coming into it. They're still down here. I just heard one. Yeah, they were literally right here, so I made it to where they were at. I think they're moving up the hill up here somewhere. I keep hearing the sound of these sticks crunching. Just can't get eyes on them. Well, they literally hightailed it out of here. They were quick about it, that's for sure. So we just came from over here in this direction. We were walking this way when we saw the deer. So I started coming back the way I saw them going. Found a nice heavy trail that goes right back up towards my apple trees. This is fresh, as you can see. It's freshly kicked up. We got hammered with rain last night, so definitely fresh track. We'll continue on. Waylon, what did we forget to do this morning when we were hanging stands? It's quite important. Huh? Do you remember what we forgot to do? And Dad was supposed to do it. Had everything all set out and just completely forgot. We forgot to hang cameras. So, Mama has sent us back together to go and do it, which is fun. He likes being out here, huh? You like hiking. You love hiking. And you're learning, huh? Learning how to put cameras up. Yeah. All right, well, we made it out here. We stopped off at one area that I wanted to put a camera in. Found out the stealth cam was junk. Somehow it got a bunch of water in on the circuit board and completely is just shorted out, done for. So not using that one. So I came up to the new stand that I put in today. Oh, big tired boy. And I'll show you right what our situation is here. So we've got big old maple up in this triple trunk, looking down onto this hillside here, which is heavily trafficked. I mean, there's hard trails that go all through here. Hard trails that go all the way up and around, and then right here, where the trees, so you can kind of see the opening over there, that's the other hillside. So I'm pretty center on the top of this ridge here. When I'm up there, I mean, you can see a good bit. Plenty of shooting lanes, a lot of area to just overlook. But anyway, Wayne and I came up here and we set a camera, which is right next to our triple trunk tree stand. That's what we're gonna call it. It's the triple trunk. And then we put together a nice mock scrape. As you can see, it's a little wet. Daddy had to go. So, peed in it. If you guys don't pee in your mock scrapes, you're missing out. Every single time I've made a mock scrape, they always come and they hit it. I'll show you guys down at the other stand. But got our licking branch up here. Licking branch right there. Mock scrape. Right up on this ridge. So we'll see what happens. So camera's right there, pointing right at our whole mock area. Stand up in the triple trunk, fussy baby. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Beautiful day. So good daddy baby bonding. So he's a bit over it, but what do you expect from 7-month-old? All right, you have fun though? Did you have fun? You get to walk around the woods with daddy? We're gonna follow this deer trail back to our other stand and we'll show you the mock scrape that we made. And he might fall asleep on the way. So our camera sitting on that tree right over there. I don't know if you can see it right there. We're walking back to the other stand, but following this hard deer trail. We're not gonna walk under that though, because we got a baby, but that just shows you how hard they travel this. I mean, boom, you can obviously see. Boom. So we'll come back around. There's another one over here. A little more clear for us to walk on. Yep, so this is the other hard trail. Going right through here. I mean, they're just everywhere. I'd say this whole hillside is just a deer trail at this point. But, I mean, it's obviously a very established way of travel for these deer. Take you guys down, check out this watering hole. we got absolutely dumped on last night. And I mean, it doesn't look like there's a lot of water in it, but you can see, I came by this morning and checked it out, and you can see where these deer were pressed for stepping in it, and their impressions bringing that water up. So, kind of like that movie, Land Before Time. They're trying to find water, and was it Land Before Time? Or was it Dinosaur? I can't remember. It was a dinosaur movie. If you guys know, put it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. But there's the water hole. A lot of fresh tracks right over in there. Not a lot of water in it, but it's enough. What other water are they going to be drinking out here? All right, so what I came to show you guys, this is the other stand right up here. I don't know if you can see that. The sun's in the way. So there's the other stand. It's the first stand I set. Over here, directly below the stand, and yes, stands aren't that high here. I'll address that here in a second. But below the stand, I put a mock scrape here a couple weeks ago. Put a licking branch right here. Peed all in it. Came back 2 weeks later, and they'd busted one open there. So, pee in your mock scrapes. Don't listen to those other people that say, "Oh, it doesn't do anything." Just do it. Especially if you're a male, you got testosterone, you got hormones. All they think is, oh my gosh, we've got competition. This is my area. Just do it. And let me know how it goes. But I'll address the fact that, yes, my stands are not that high up in the trees. As you can see right there. I go about 15 feet at most, especially hunting these hills. Now, if you're sitting way up on top of a hill, like my second stand is, back there that I just set this morning in the triple trunk, you gotta think, you got a good chance that you're gonna be seeing deer. They're gonna be down along, down in those bottoms. The bottom from where that stand is, I mean, that's a good 50 yards. Do you really want to increase your angle of shooting the higher you are up on top of a ridge if you're shooting down into a ravine? No. Or, especially in these hills, you got a lot of thick cover. And once you get up a certain point, it's almost pointless because you're gonna have to be sitting there cutting lanes, and you're gonna be taking out so much of the foliage. So 10-15 feet, find a nice thick area that you can kind of see over everything. You're in like, I want to say like 10-15 feet is like the prime. I don't have to trim much. Occasionally you get those trees that you do, but typically don't have to trim much. I can kind of just set and go. So that, and from there, I mean, if you're shooting something from 10-15 feet up, you're not going to have much of an angle. You don't have to worry about, where am I going to hit this animal? You can kind of just pinpoint, aim, and shoot. You don't have to sit there and think, well, if I aim a little high, arrow's going to go down and penetrate lungs and then heart. Okay, buddy. So, something to think about, a little bit of food for thought. So, we're making it back to the house now. We're going to go see your mama. You're ready for a nap and probably some food. We'll catch you guys on the next one.